Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. We're taking the EZA TEQ final form caller into the Wicked Bloodline ESBR. Considering that is one of the most recent, actually the most recent ESBR stage, we're rocking the 200% category lead again. I'm not gonna lie, considering how impressed I was with him, I'm actually really looking forward to trying this. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing how he does. We're not gonna have him linked up with the caller unit compared to the showcase. We're going to have him in a more realistic setup, which is him with one of the golden freezers so they can tank in slot 1 and he can build up his passive in slot 2 and not take any unnecessary damage. So the link set, unfortunately, right now isn't too great. He also doesn't even link, of course, with the LR final form caller. So he's not even going to be performing at his very best. Of course, we are missing big bad bosses, which we do need to lose some health for. But the rest of the links here, we're not really going to be getting active. But if I'm being completely honest, I don't think that's going to stop him. We are starting on a 264 in terms of attack stat and 138k defense. I don't think we even need to use an item here, I'll be honest. I don't think we... Actually, no, do you know what? Just to be safe, I'll use an Icarus. I won't use a Whis, I'll use an Icarus. We'll start by attacking the Bardock, and then we'll also attack Bardock with the LR final form Fruge as well, with that type of Voyage. Of course, we do need to build up his passive, just like kind of almost every final form caller has. We do need him to perform, was it 3 attacks? Yeah, 3 attacks, because we need to get up to 50%. And it goes up by 20% each time. So we need him to perform 3 attacks. He does have a built-in additional, which he's attacked twice. Do you know what? 24k while having Typeless Voyage, and he only attacked, what, I think twice there? It may even be once, but I think he got an additional, because I swear I just saw him do basics. With 2 stack-ups, with an Icarus active, with Typeless Voyage, considering how hard ESBR now hits, and again, he has type disadvantage. No big bad bosses, no links like that. Taking 20k on a basic while having Typeless Voyage, I'm not gonna lie, is actually pretty impressive. And he only took, what, 5k? 5k? 8k? Something like that from Bardock? Which, again, in terms of standards, in terms of how hard ESBR hits nowadays, that's kind of nothing. That is generally kind of nothing. So I'm not gonna lie, already he's not even fully built up yet. Yes, he's more than halfway there, but already he's looking really impressive. Yes, we did have an Icarus active, but every time you do an ESBR stage, especially the new and latter stages, you're gonna be popping a Whis pretty much turn 1. You're gonna be popping some form of the item turn 1 to make sure that you make it through, or someone builds up, someone stacks a little, you know, all those type of kind of factors. So do you know what? Already, I mean, I was impressed with his showcase, but in harder content, already I'm impressed. Like, that freezer, yes, he has to transform, but that is a, like, this caller is a side EZA. He took 20k with an Icarus active while having Typeless Voyage. That freezer just took 74k. Again, I know he has to transform, but still. So, I mean, we've already got him up to 317k attacks, that 166k defense. The only annoying thing, or the only downside, of course, to him being a cooler unit that has to build up every turn, or, you know, build up every fight, is we're constantly going to have to redo that every fight we re-enter, which would be a bad thing, but considering it's a cooler unit and he does have a medium chance of launching an additional super attack, but he has a guaranteed additional anyway, I mean, building him up quickly is very, very easy. As I said, you're pretty much most of the time minimum about to do 2 attacks in 1 turn anyway, and that puts him more than halfway fully built up. And then any additionals that you have in him, or any dupes, should I say, that you have in him to launch an additional, is obviously a huge bonus. But one thing we can take advantage of here, which hopefully comes off, but there's only a 30% chance of him doing so, is of course him having a medium chance to stun on super. So this is where his medium chance of his built-in additional becoming a super would come in handy. Any dupe system additionals would come in handy as a super, so we can also raise his attack and defense by 30% for 1 turn as well. Because then not only will he be fully built up, not only will he have the extra 50% attack and defense and the 150 attack and defense at the start of the turn he gets, but then also he can raise his attack and defense twice if we can get the additional super come off. Actually, no, 3 times. The initial super attack, the additional from his passive, and also the dupe system additional, which means he should be tanking very, very well here, even though he doesn't have the majority of his links active, even though I'm pretty sure the majority, apart from big bad bosses, are attack links anyway. So his damage isn't going to be as impressive as we've seen it, because we don't have him linked up with First Form Cooler, or the, not First Form Cooler, but Dokkan Fest Transforming Cooler. But in terms of how well we can tank, to be fair, once he's built up super attacking once, he should be tanking double digits on basics. 2 super attacks, if the passive, medium chance of launching an additional super comes off, he would actually tank super attacks very well. And if the third one comes off from the dupe system, because mine is rainbowed, and again, if you have dupe system anyway, you still have a chance of that happening, he should still tank supers pretty well. So what I'm gonna use an Icarus just to be safe for the freezer at the end. We do actually have some type advantage against Nappa in slot 2 against the cooler. So we're gonna attack you. We'll give you this, and then we can give the rest of the orbs to the freezer. Nappy should probably be almost dead. And again, hopefully the additional that happens in his passive, hopefully any additional that happens, will become a super attack. Because not only will he stack up his passive quicker, but then he can raise his attack and defense by 30% 2-3 times. And unfortunately, both additionals happened. We did get the stun though. We did get the stun, not that he needs it, but we did get the stun. And that is something, as I said, you can only really utilize on a handful of red zone stages, not many, and mainly Super Battle Road at ESBR. And there it is coming in handy now. Now I'm definitely happy I popped the Whis. Yeah, because that done some serious damage. You know what, I would heal, but I mean, I'm pretty sure this freezer doesn't have his damage reduction regardless. So I'm going to pop an Icarus on top of the Whis, which means we should be fine to soak up all the damage. We'll get some health back by picking up some same type key spheres as well. Vegeta's about to get bullied by Cooler, both Coolers. But then, yeah, another thing that I completely forgot we could take advantage of is that we can also stun the attacked enemy once only when there is an enemy's name includes Goku. So actually, that's what just came off. I don't think it was from his super, because the stun came after he got the additional basic. I completely forgot about that. He has a guaranteed stun once only, which is great for ESBR, by the way, avoiding damage. I mean, look at units like Super Vegeta with his guaranteed stun. He has a guaranteed stun once only when there is an enemy whose name includes Goku. So I actually completely forgot about that, because of course Goku is sitting at the end there. If only I remembered that. If only I checked his passive, or that part of his passive just before. Because then instead of hitting Nappa, I would have hit someone else, and then we could have guaranteed stunned them for the turn, and probably avoided some of the damage we took, considering how much we took last turn. But I completely forgot about that, and that is such a useful tool to have, especially on top of the fact he has a 30% chance to stun on his super as well. So that is very handy with that coming off. That is a very useful tool to have in the likes of ESBR to avoid big damage, which of course the new stages can do. It's kind of a shame I forgot about it. So we do still have an Icarus active. I mean, we might... I am going to heal. We do have also extra defense, which Cooler, I'm pretty sure, is with the defense, he's also fully built up. So yeah, off a super attack in, his defense is going to be in a pretty solid spot. I'm going to bully Goku, because also Full Power Freeze is about to get a crit on Goku as well, which means he's going to do some serious damage against him, even though he does have type advantage, which is great. Again, this is without big bad bosses, but I didn't want to risk dying, considering our health is only at 200k. That's the stun as well, not that we really needed it. Look at the additionals coming off, man. Again, his attack stat isn't as oppressive as we've seen it, because of course we don't have stuff like brutal beatdown, big bad bosses being the important one, Universe's most malevolent. We don't have Thirst for Conquest active. We don't have like a lot of his attack links active, because of course I've gone for the safer route of having a golden freezer next to him that can just sit in slot 1 and soak up damage. So that is kind of a shame. But regardless, he's still showing his worth. I mean, the only difference that would be if he did have those links active is that not only will he be incredibly useful getting these stuns off, passive and super attack wise, not only will defensively he be very solid, especially with an item active, and not really having to worry about him whatsoever, and soaking up, to be fair, probably quite a bit of damage on a super if he was to be supered, and taking double digits on basics. But then also he would be doing some pretty good damage as well, especially with the medium chance of launching an additional super in his passive, an additional potentially from his dupe system, and doing, not in the same regions of course of damage as the LR final form cooler, but doing decent accumulative damage as well. So there is that, and there is also another Goku enemy, so he is guaranteed to stun this turn. Who am I gonna stun? I'm probably gonna stun, actually, do you know what? I'm actually probably gonna stun, no, I'm probably gonna stun Trunks. Just to be safe because of Cooler himself. And Cooler, funny enough, or at least the Tech Cooler, is about to get the Dokkan attack. So we're gonna see how much damage he can really do. Do I need to pop an item with the Cooler? To be fair, my Cooler has no links active right now, like none whatsoever, so I will actually pop an... Do you know what? Because we're getting the stun off, I'm going to pop a Whis instead. And we're going to get our health back anyway. And then we'll attack Vegeta. We can't... Yes, we can get the 18 key off. So at least we can avoid some extra damage while he hasn't built up his passive literally hardly at all. So we don't take too much damage against Trunks. And we can potentially avoid a dangerous super attack. So yeah, he's doing his Dokkan attack pretty much fresh in the battle. He hasn't built up whatsoever. This is going to be his first initial attack in building up his passive right now, which is literally going to give him an additional attack and defense plus 20%. That's all he's going to have while doing this. So let's see how much damage he's going to do. I mean, to be fair, everyone's at half health and Goku's what, a quarter? I'm not glad, that's not bad. As I said, he's literally not built up whatsoever while doing the Dokkan attack. He literally got his first build up of his passive, and he generally almost killed everyone there. I mean, that's impressive. And again, that's while missing most of his attack links, and especially Brutal Beatdown. This Cooler is very good. As I said, the video title with that, the showcase video on him, I'm impressed. He's actually very, very good. You could probably manage to take him in some red zone stages. I wouldn't take him into all of them, but he could probably manage himself. Like, I'm not being funny. If you could get lucky or lucky where your super attacks are coming from, and you know, double Whising against the AoE phase of Broly, things like that, you know, and you can avoid super attacks on this guy. And I said double Whising on the AoE phase, because of course that attacks everyone. Then I'm not gonna lie, this Cooler could actually probably, again, he would have to be quite RNG based and lucky to avoid some supers. And again, Whising the AoE phase, but this Cooler could probably handle himself against Broly. Fully built up on Cooler's 200% lead. He has in the region of like over 200k defense, I'm pretty sure, literally just over 200k defense. If those additional supers come off against Broly, the final phase where he also would have type advantage, you'd raise your attack and defense potentially by 90% because of the 3 super attacks he can do. The initial, the additional from the passive, and potentially an additional from the dupe system. So I generally think you could probably take him into Broly, however you would just have to get quite fortunate that he doesn't get supered at the wrong circumstance. And of course that you double Whis against the AoE phase, which you pretty much do anyway. But I generally think he could go in there. Again, it is kind of RNG based because you need him to get the additional supers come off, but I mean, that's kind of where the cookie crumbles with Dokkan sometimes. There's some units that rely too much on RNG, where they go from 0 to hero, depending off the RNG comes off. But I do generally think this guy could handle himself. I really do, and that Wicked Bloodline was easy again. I mean, Cooler was obviously doing ridiculous damage, so was Full Power Freezer against Goku enemies. And as I said, this Cooler wasn't even doing as much damage as we know he can do. And he was still incredibly useful. Those guaranteed stun when there's Goku enemies, which there's going to be a lot of, by the way, because he's primarily, you know, one of the most, you know, frequent units in the game, and most of the enemies that pop up in extreme versions or extreme categories in ESPR, but he's impressive. He's very, very useful. As I said, imagine that with how much damage we've seen him do, which is like, what, 5 million? while having solid defense, especially if you get the additional supers come off, while having medium shots to stun on super, and also a guaranteed stun if Goku's there. He's really good. I'm really impressed. Really impressed. But don't forget, let me know what you think down in the comments. Drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. And push.